From the University of Winnipeg Athletic Center, CK&E Game of the Week presents GPAC basketball this afternoon. The Manitoba Bisons against the Winnipeg Westmen. Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Pascucci, and I welcome back Scott Taylor of the Winnipeg Free Press, who is filling in for the ailing Don Lamont this week. And Scott, first of all, welcome back to GPAC basketball. First time in 7 years for you.
Joe, it's always a pleasure, and this is a great building to do a ball game out of.
Scott, the biggest innovation in Canadian University basketball this year, the three-point line, and certainly created a lot of excitement, as we saw in the opening in the Westman Classic final.
I think the three-point line is the single most significant and important improvement in the game of basketball since they stopped the jump ball after every bucket back in the 30s. It is a game, it now makes the game one where the little guy has an opportunity to become involved. They have to bring the ball outside, especially on a team with a good three-point shooter. And we have a couple of good three-point shooters in this game for the Bisons, Terry Garrow, and for the Westmen, little Joey Vickery. We saw the Westman Classic, and it was a show. Joey Vickery likes to bring the ball up the floor and jack up the long ones, and he likes to do it quickly. He likes to run and gun. Terry Garrow likes to work the offense, get himself set, and then throw the three-pointer up and really surprise teams. So we're going to look for a lot of excitement. Looking at the rankings, the CIU top 10, Victoria number 1, Brandon number 2, Manitoba Bisons are 5th ranked. They've moved up from 6th. The Winnipeg Westmen dropped to 8th this week after a couple of losses last weekend to the Brandon Bobcats. So we've set the scene, and we'll be back right after this with the opening tip-off, the Manitoba Bisons against the Winnipeg Westmen from the Winnipeg Athletic Center.
How far do your kids have to go when they need information in a hurry?
I better get to the library before it closes.
If he only had the new Encyclopedia Britannica at home, he wouldn't have to go through all this. He could be learning right now about science, art, nature, medicine, from the Ice Age to the Space Age, all the latest information on every subject, with thousands of colorful maps, photographs, and illustrations that bring it all to life. A 2-volume index makes information easier to find, whether you need fast answers or knowledge in depth. The new Encyclopedia Britannica. It's your key to the information age and the greatest learning tool available to your family. But they can't use it if they can't get to it.
Oh, darn, now what am I gonna do?
Why not help your kids to succeed by having the information they need right at home with Encyclopedia Britannica, the library that never closes. Now, it's easier than ever to give your family the Encyclopedia Britannica. Just call this toll-free number and we'll send you a free full-color booklet that tells you everything you want to know about your key to the information age. Plus, when you act now, you get your first copy of the exciting new Britannica World Data Annual. It's a free gift from Britannica Home Library Service when you acquire Britannica. And just for previewing Britannica in your home, you'll receive absolutely free this valuable 3-volume desk reference set. It's yours to keep with no obligation.
So call today, 1-800-268-6364 for your free booklet and details on how to receive this handsome 3-volume desk reference set. The booklet is free, and so is the call. Encyclopedia Britannica, the library that never closes.
And welcome back to the University of Winnipeg Athletic Center in this GPAC confrontation, the first of 4 meetings, not counting the playoffs, of course, between the Winnipeg Westmen and the Manitoba Bisons. And Scott, Winnipeg Westmen dropping in the rankings as you take a look at referees for today's game, Ken Epp and Vic Gilman. The Westmen dropping from 7th to 8th because of a couple of losses to the Brandon Bobcats. Of course, big news coming out of Brandon this week. John Carson, academically ineligible to play.
It's interesting what they said in Brandon, of course, that no, he's not academically ineligible. He just doesn't have enough marks to take the required number of courses in order to attend school full-time, which suggests to me academically ineligible, but hey, it's semantics. I mean, who's going to argue? Tonight, we're going to watch a great basketball game between 2 teams that like to do 2 different things, Joe. The Winnipeg Westmen want to run like crazy. They want to start a pace that is fast up and down the floor. The Bisons, on the other hand, want to slow it down, get it inside to their big guys. That's the thing we have to watch for.
Joe, Uggams in there for the Bisons, and for the Westmen, Merv Voth on this opening. Right from the opening, Garrow for the Bisons from Ottawa. Starts it off, Terry Garrow. Likes to shoot from the outside, lets Jeff House take this one. And the Westmen come up with a rebound. Will Parker bringing it up court. Joey Vickery, nice move by Vickery. And Joe Uggams with the offensive board.
Okay, Joe, they both missed their first shots down the floor. The Bisons came up and threw it up a little quick. Jeff House had a good shot. There's no question he had to take it. But I don't think Rick Suffield wants him doing that. I think he wants to get Joseph Uggams the ball.
And Joe Uggams showing his strength as he drives right to the basket. 2-0 Manitoba. As the Westmen turn it over. Joe Uggams outside the three-point line, but he won't take too many of those shots. And we have a travel call against Chris Adam of the Bisons.
Chris Adam is the young man that has done so much this season. As we're going to have a look at Joseph Uggams driving to the hoop against Mark Johansson. What a super bucket by Uggams for the first 2 points of the game. But I was talking about Chris Adam. He's a young guy, a sophomore, or rather a freshman, 19 years old. He's a player to watch tonight. We're going to see how much his inexperience tells as the game goes on.
Mark Johansson with the bucket. Manitoba's lead cut 4-2. And Mike Thomas tripping up David Philman, so that's our first foul of the game.
That's just lazy early defense by Mike Thomas. Twice Winnipeg's come down the floor and turned the ball over. They made their bucket when they took an outside shot that they liked. That's the thing that the Westmen want to do as the night goes on, is get those free outside shots.
Jeff House so far missing from 2 shots. Bison's very deliberate when they bring the ball up the court. Westmen get it in there quickly as Will Parker has it. Looking against House, dishes back.
Johansson hits a three-pointer. It is going to bring the Bison's defense out if Johansson and Vickery can throw up those three-point shots.
Inside to Jeff House. And a good block by little Joey Vickery.
Super defensive play. Jeff House is one of the only players in the league that Joey Vickery can match up to. And even in that, he's 2 or 3 inches shorter.
Terry Garrow going inside, puts it up. Doesn't get a favorable bounce. And Vickery comes up with the defensive rebound. Good pass by Joey Vickery. Mike Thomas with the basket.
Super pass by Vickery, and again, the Westmen are playing at their pace. That's what they want to make the Bisons do. Have to get back on defense quickly, and then bring it back up the floor quickly.
Joe Uggams. No one was going to take Joe Uggams on that time.
The only thing they can do to Uggams on that play is try to force him left, and I don't think that'll matter.
Loose ball, Bison's come up with it. David Philman. Garrow brings it up court. Garrow gets his own rebound back, goes underneath and up and in.
Good bucket. There's no way that the Westman big guys can allow Terry Garrow to go inside like that. They have to be able to box out and make sure they play defense with their feet.
Winnipeg leading 7-6 with Vickery. To Johansson, another three-point attempt, this one off the rim. And the Bisons will put it in play as the ball went off Thomas out of bounds.
Mike Thomas is pretty upset there. He thought he was fouled in that play by Terry Garrow. Thomas had pretty good position as Murray Geeman comes into the game for the Westmen. Another Westwood graduate. I mean, the University of Winnipeg Westwoods tonight with Joey Vickery and Murray Geeman, of course, and Willie Parker and Mark Johansson.
Philman working against Thomas. Geeman with the slot. Philman puts in his own rebound.
Real nice play by David Philman to get inside again. The Westmen have to box out.
Bison's back in front, 8-7. Thomas. And House comes up with the rebound. Will Parker almost coming up with the steal. He's looking for the official, Vic Gilman, to call that Winnipeg ball as the ball bounced off Garrow and out. Joe Uggams Uggams slowly bringing the ball up court. Now in the hands of Terry Garrow. Back out to Uggams. A little bit of a charging call there against Chris Adam.
That was probably a good call, although I think at worst this is a non-call. Adam makes the move to the hoop. Gehman has position, no question. Yeah, I guess you got to call it, but under tighter circumstances, a non-call would have been a good call.
Mike Thomas to Will Parker, to Thomas.
See, there's the same thing the other way. I mean, Mike Thomas makes a good play and goes to the hoop with it. He knocked House down, and there's no call made. I mean, it should have gone both ways.
That pass too hard to handle for House, and Westman will get the ball back, leading 9-8, 15-26 in the first half.
Okay, we've seen Joseph Uggams throughout his career. What do you think about him playing point guard right now?
Well, he looks like at times that he's out of his position.
Yeah, he looks very confident as a point guard, but I'd love to have Joseph underneath if I were the coach. As he proved right there on the defensive boards. But they have Joe Uggams and Terry Garrow bringing the ball up, and they move Jeff House down.
And Joey Vickery got caught in mid-flight by Jeff House.
Good fake by Jeff House underneath to draw the foul. We're going to have a look at it. Good pass into the middle. Joey Vickery way off his feet. It's a great story that Stan Albeck, the old Chicago Bulls coach, tells about all his great players when he took over the Bulls. And they were all going to block Larry Bird. And by the end of the season, he had a $100 fine for every time a player took Larry Bird's pump fake. And right there, Joey Vickery took Jeff House pump fake.
And Jeff House did a good job of moving into Vickery afterwards to create the foul as Will Parker comes back to Vickery inside the three-point line, and he makes it.
That's still a sensational shot. He's got two hands in his face, hits it from 18 feet. And the Westmen lead it by 3.
Joe Uggams inside to Adam. Chris Adam.
That young kid has really done a job. Chris Adam, offensively strong. Defensively, maybe there's a weak link in the Bison's defense with Chris Adam, only a 19-year-old with not a lot of university experience. But offensively, he can play.
Johansson inside. And the basket
right there,
by
Murray Gehman took Chris Adam way off his feet and out of the play. And there's the type of thing a 6'7" veteran player can do to a freshman.
And Billman will be going to the line.
Here you have a look at Murray Gehman, of course, who was charged with a foul. It's interesting, we've been able to see David Philman. It's his first game in GPAC back since he played for the University of Winnipeg. Of course, he played in the Westman Classic. Changed schools, had to spend some time academically at the University of Manitoba not playing. Not by his own academic problems, but by the rules of intercollegiate basketball. And now he's moved in, won himself a starting job. He is a good, tough, strong forward who takes the ball to the hoop hard.
David Philman missing twice from the line. The Bisons need his size up front. They're not going to play Uggams up there. They have to play someone big there to get the rebound.
From a physical standpoint, the Bisons dominate. There's no question. The only thing the Westmen can hope for is to be able to set the pace, play the game quickly, and try to use their feistiness to their advantage.
13-10, Winnipeg leading. 13-24 remaining in the first half. C-Candy game of the week as Garrow tries the three-pointer. And the ball will just go out of bounds.
That was a good shot. Terry Garrow's a three-point shooter. As we saw in the finals of the Westman Classic, he essentially won it with about 6 of them in the second half as the Bisons came back from the 12-point deficit at the half. If Garrow wants to take the three-pointer and I'm the coach, I'd let him shoot it.
Joey Vickery back outside, and the ball is saved by the Westmen, but Uggams was there to catch it. Chris Adam back outside to Joe Uggams. To Philman. To Garrow. Loose ball, Vickery comes up with it, and here come the Westmen, leading 13-10. Vickery. Outside to Johansson. Back to Vickery, he'll take the three-pointer. Well, neither teams are shy about using that three-point shot. As Vickery, fadeaway jumper doesn't go in. Geeman can't put it in. Geeman again, and this time.
Good effort by Murray Geeman. Joey Vickery took an off-balance shot that probably Bill Wedlick would have preferred he didn't take. Murray Geeman makes the rebound, throws it back up, gets his own rebound, does it again. That's second effort, and that can win you ball games.
Jeff House. That's just two.
He was standing on the line there to give him the two-pointer, but that was a heck of a shot by Jeff House.
Will Parker outside. Gene DeFranklin, and Geeman puts it in. 6 points for Geeman.
They have Murray Geeman posting up low down at the baseline, and he's been able to do a number on whoever has been forced to play defense against him. And if that keeps up, the Bisons are going to have to make an adjustment.
Billman to Chris Adams. And Chris Adams came down hard on the court. And
I think he's more angry at himself than hurt. We're going to see a substitution. It looks like Trevor Hoylett.
The versatile athlete, Trevor Hoylett.
Here is a guy who wasn't a long way away from making the Blue Bombers football club this year as a defensive back. He's a tough safety, was returning some punts, did a pretty good job in training camp. He's a kid who's tough underneath. We're going to be able to watch Trevor. He's all of 6'3" and strong as an ox.
And looks like Murray Geeman is his man.
The Bisons have set up in kind of an odd zone, and it's worked to keep Winnipeg from being able to penetrate it all.
Good save by Uggams. Hoylett into the game quickly on the good pass from Garrow. Quickly, the Westmen come back. Will Parker.
Will Parker took it right into the face of Joe Uggams, and you've got to give him a lot of credit for that. Joe Uggams about 6 inches taller than Willie Parker.
Westmen back up by 5, 19-14. Jeff House will go to the basket, and he gets the charge.
No,
another block.
It's going to be a block. You'll get 2 shots. That was a good call. Willie Parker takes the foul. Parker didn't have position underneath. We'll have a look at that drive again, I think. Here comes Jeff. No way does Parker have that position. Jeff House easily taking it to the hoop, and he gets the free throw. Okay, the Bisons are going into a little half-court trap now. Winnipeg's really had trouble trying to penetrate for the good shots that they like to get. The Bisons have been staying to the zone. Now they've gone to a half-court trap zone. Winnipeg's got to get some motion out of their big guys.
Parker. Save. Geeman. And this ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be Manitoba, or Winnipeg.
Yeah, Vic Gilman had trouble making a decision too there, Joe. It was tipped by Joseph Uggams.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Parker. Saves. He'll take the shot. Good rebound by Johansson.
You're right, Joseph. What an outstanding play underneath by Mark Johansson to save the rebound and get the ball to Murray Geeman.
Garrow. To Chris Adams. To House. Back out to Garrow. And the Westmen come up with a rebound. That's Will Parker. Westmen can increase that lead to 5. And Hoylett draws the foul for the Bison.
That was probably a good foul to take. It was a great drive by Willie Parker. We'll have a look. Parker goes by Garrow and drives into the key. Hoylett makes the foul. It was a great pass by Parker to Geeman. He saved 2 points.
Let's take a look at Joe Uggams coming into the game for the Bisons. Number 33, Neil Enns. And Manitoba is calling a timeout here. This is with the score 21-16 in favor of Winnipeg. We'll be back to the University of Winnipeg Athletic Center after this. For the best in Canadian university basketball, come to the University of Winnipeg Athletic Center Saturday, February 28th and Sunday, March the 1st for the GPAC Men's Championship. The top 4 teams meet to decide the GPAC champion with semifinals at 6:15 and 8 on Saturday, with the championship final at 5 o'clock Sunday. The GPAC Men's Basketball Championship weekend. Don't miss any of the action at the Winnipeg Athletic Center Saturday, February 28th and Sunday, March the 1st.
The Manitoba Curling Association invites you to watch all the exciting action at the Winnipeg Arena, February 12th through the 15th, when the MCA presents the 1987 Labatt Tankard Championship. 32 of the province's top rinks compete for a berth to the Brier. CKND Sports will also provide daily game coverage Thursday through Sunday, February 12th through the 15th. For your best seat at the Labatt Tankard Championship, reserve your tickets now through your curling club or the Manitoba Curling Association office.
And there you see Winnipeg coach Bill Wedlake has to be pretty happy right now, Scott, leading 21-16 and seemingly right at this moment in control of the game.
He's been able to play the game at his tempo, and I think that's what Wedlake wanted right from the start. That's, of course, what he had in the first half of the Westman Classic when they built a 48-36 advantage over Manitoba. The tempo changed in the second half. Talking to both Laurie May, Rick Suffield, and Tony Scott, the three of them, before the game, the Manitoba coaches all wanted to make sure that Manitoba played the game at their tempo. They haven't been able to do that, and that's why Winnipeg's up 5.
And with a chance right now to go up by 7. Joey Vickery. Outside to Will Parker. Parker inside. Taves goes up and gets it in. Good coverage, though, from Terry Garrow, but Taves gets the basket. No, Goodbranson.
That's Dean Goodbranson from Selkirk. His sisters were real fine athletes, both volleyball players. Dean is a super shooter.
There's a super shot.
That's the kind of thing that Terry Garrow does so well. He's been cold most of this first half, but he can bang one three-pointer and get you right back in the game.
Geeman will put it up. And Murray Geeman with 10 points in this first half.
This is as good I've seen Murray Geeman play probably in 2 seasons. He's really aggressive going to the basket, and he's not afraid to take his shot.
Will Parker gets called for a little slap on the old elbow. Second foul in this first half for Will Parker.
Well, there's the makeup on the non-call. That's another one that's probably a non-call. The ball was going out of bounds. It would have been Manitoba's anyway. So we see Chris Hicks come into the ballgame for Winnipeg to replace Willie Parker. Mark Johansson returns to the contest.
Bison trailing 25-19 as Garrow puts it up. Around the rim, rebound will be taken by Johansson. Rick Suffield, Bison coach, looking for a foul there.
I think Rick Suffield's as much concerned about the fact that Terry Garrow can hit three-pointers and he's missed 2 drives to the basket.
Geeman, beautiful pass from Johansson.
You can tell a couple of guys who have played basketball together for 7 or 8 years. You see Mark Johansson in his 5th year at the Westwood, Murray Geeman, who also played at Westwood. They knew where each other was going to be.
Neil N, nowhere to go but back out to Garrow. Garrow and the crowd couldn't make the shot. And Geeman will get the foul.
Yeah, they're calling Geeman over the back. I don't think there was any question about it. Murray Geeman did a good job rebounding, but that is against the rules as they're written. We're going to have a look at it. The shot goes up. Trevor Hoylett gets pretty good position. So does Neil Enns. Geeman goes over Enns. As you look at the replay, that was close. Yeah, that was iffy. That was iffy. In the heat of the moment, the official probably made the right call. However, we have the benefit.
We have the benefit of the replay. In the NBA, or in the NFL, they'd be taking that one back.
Not for a penalty, remember. Not for a foul.
Millman. Underneath, can he make it? No. Tough shot, and only Geeman was there for the rebound. Winnipeg doing a good job on the defensive board. No doubt about that one by Garrow, and that was a frustration foul.
I think as much as anything else, it was a frustration foul. It probably saved a layup. We're going to see 2 free throws, but by the same token, Terry Garrow knew better than that. We're not going to see 2 free throws. They're going to say it was before the shot. So as fouls go, that was a good one.
Johansson. That was an impossible shot, and Neil Enns is going to be called for the foul this time.
It was exactly the same play as happened at the other end to Murray Geeman. Neil Enns, of course, going over the back. A lot of aggressiveness, a lot of feistiness from the Westmen in the first half. They did that in the first half of the Westman Classic Final. They didn't do it in the second half. We got to see how this tempo goes as the halves change in 7:26.
Johansson, short, the rebound, not put in by Merv Voth, and Uggams comes up with it.
Merv Voth has to make that shot. That's a baby.
Otherwise, he goes back to the bench. Garrow around Vickery, and this time Garrow gets the basket.
That's the first time he's been able to make that drive, little step and shoot it up. He's got great touch.
27-21, Winnipeg up by 6. Vickery, it's 3, but no, it won't drop. Voth has it stolen away by Garrow. This one ahead to House. And we're going to get a foul here against Jeff House.
No, it's going to be against Chris Hicks, I think, from Winnipeg. Yep, for pushing House. The Bisons will keep possession of the ball. Bill Wedlake is not hesitating to get Willie Parker and Murray Geeman back in as we see Chris Adam return for the Bisons. I'm impressed with this Chris Adam. For a youngster, a freshman, coming into his first season in university basketball, he has really played with a lot of aggressiveness and certainly a lot of intelligence.
Jeff House missing from the line. That's Adam.
That was an off-balance shot. There really wasn't much he could do for it. Rick Suffield would love to have seen a foul call.
Well, that was a prayer if it had gone in. Johansson, Parker, Vickery, Voth,
and foul by Jeff House. Bill Wedlake just turned. Every time Merv Voth puts it on the floor, Bill Wedlake kind of gets a little shake. He'd rather see Merv throw it up than put it to the floor, and that time he got away with one.
Geeman, he's hot.
What a half for Murray Geeman. He has just played terrific basketball.
14 points for Geeman in his first half. 29-21, the Westmen lead it by 8. 6:07 in this first half remaining. Chris Adam. Geeman almost put it into his own basket.
That was actually a pretty good rebound by Geeman. He's taken a chance, but he's got to keep it alive on the board. That's kind of a disappointing shot by Chris Adam.
Geeman looking for 16, not this time. But this time,
boy, this is Murray Geeman's half. That ball just fell right into his hands as he's driving to the hoop. He threw up a hope and a prayer for his first shot with some good defense against him, and then was able to get the rebound and lay it in.
Joe Uggams. The Philman in a lot of traffic.
Great job by David Philman. He stayed strong, stayed with the basket, kept his eye on it, made the bucket, and Joey Vickery's going to pick up the foul. We're going to have a look at Murray Geeman's rebound. Here comes the first shot. It's a hope and a prayer. Falls right into his hands off of Merv Voth. Count 2.
I think Murray Geeman better keep a record of this game.
Yeah, oh yeah, he better get the VCR out. He better get the VCR out today.
And Philman completes the three-point play. So the Westman lead has been cut to 7. 5:31 left in this first half. Will Parker. Good friend. Stolen away by Garrow. Here come the Bisons. Garrow working. And he draws the foul from Bert Taves.
Excellent effort by Terry Garrow at both ends of the floor. First of all, he makes the steal. Now he goes in on Bert Taves one-on-one, makes the spin-around move, forces Taves off his feet, Picks up the foul. Great effort by Terry Garrow. It was a 10-point lead. Now it's a 7-point lead and could be 5 very soon.
31-24, Winnipeg out in front of Manitoba. We'll be back to the Athletic Center after this.
As a public service, CKND presents information on the following community events. A well-educated elderly Polish woman who has no family in the city would enjoy a weekly visitor who could chat over a cup of tea and brighten her days. For more information, call Barbara Sparling at 947-1276. Toastmasters Senior Sunshine Club meets every Saturday morning at 10:30 a.m. at room 202, 185 Smith Street. This information presented by CKND, working for the community.
For the best in Canadian university basketball, come to the University of Winnipeg Athletic Center Saturday, February 28th and Sunday, March the 1st for the GPAC Men's Championship. The top 4 teams meet to decide the GPAC champion with semifinals at 6:15 and 8 on Saturday, with the championship final at 5 o'clock Sunday. The GPAC Men's Basketball Championship weekend. Don't miss any of the action at the Winnipeg Athletic Center Saturday, February 28th and Sunday, March the 1st. And we're back here as you see the Bison huddle with Coach Rick Suffield.
Right, you guys got the front.
A key for Manitoba's benefit, obviously, we're listening to Rick.
I think that was Bill Wedlake. Got a bit of Bill Wedlake. You should take a look at Suffield, and now you take a look at Bill Wedlake. Second year as head coach of the Westmen, replacing Bruce Enns, who is now at UBC, and certainly Bruce has turned around that program.
It's exactly what Bruce Enns wanted all his life. When he was at Winnipeg, the one thing he was concerned about was recruiting players without the types of courses academically to be able to offer players to come there. That's what Manitoba's always had over Winnipeg. Out at UBC, he certainly has the courses at that university, so he has an opportunity to recruit engineers and doctors and lawyers and guys who want to go on to professional careers, so he gets an opportunity to do a better job recruiting. Bill Wedlake obviously wants his team to play a little bit tougher defense with their feet, quit playing it with their hands, and quit leaving their feet. At the other end, Rick Suffield wants his team to slow the game down, get the ball inside, use that physical advantage they have.
Mike Thomas back into the game. Taves. To Gieman. And Gieman knew that shot was not going to go as soon as he let it go. Garrow. To Joe Uggams. Rather quiet first half for Joe Uggams. Chris Adams. And the rebound comes to Will Parker. Mike Thomas. And the ball will go out of bounds, but Winnipeg will retain possession.
Good work on the boards by Merv Voth. There you have a look at Merv Voth. He works hard underneath. He's not the prettiest player in the world.
Willie Parker picks up his 4th points of this first half.
The guards have been very solid for Winnipeg, and that has to be a good sign for Rick Suffield. However, when did he ever figure Murray Gieman was going to have a half like this?
Yeah. Garrow to Joe Uggams. Neil ends, and Gieman got a hand on it.
Outstanding defense by Gieman.
Mike Thomas goes up. Merv Voth.
You've got to make those if you're going to win basketball games. Both Mike Thomas and Merv Voth just missed bunnies. You can't afford to miss those shots and beat a team like Manitoba.
Three-pointer by Uggams off the rim. And here come the Westmen. Parker. And the foul by number 30 in the Bison, Scott Martin.
It was a great drive by Willie Parker. It was either going to be a foul or a bucket. Parker goes by Uggams with some good foot speed. He goes up and he's fouled, obviously, there by Scott Martin. It'll be 2 shots. I think Rick Suffield was very disappointed. He'd made the turnover. He'd been given a new life when both Mike Thomas and Merv Voth missed easy shots. They brought the ball back down, set it all up, and then Joe Uggams took a 3-pointer that he's not supposed to shoot. And Winnipeg comes back, and now they've got the free throws.
I'd be surprised to see Uggams go back inside. He's not effective.
he has to be inside. He's one of the best inside power forwards in Canadian college basketball. Maybe obviously Rick Suffield knows more than we do. But to have him out by the three-point line is really wasting a physical specimen.
9-point lead for the Westmen, 35-26, 3:27 remaining in this first half. Joe Uggams to Martin, back to Uggams. And Voss of Winnipeg will get the foul.
It's an interesting call. That stuff's been going on all night. Not called until there's 3:16 left in the first half. I would guess that was a non-call too, but hey, my relationship with officials goes back a long way, Joseph.
Trevor Hoylett at the line for the Bisons. Geeman comes up with the rebound, and it'll be Winnipeg ball as it rolled off Philman and out of bounds.
Great hustle on the parts of both Murray Geeman and David Philman. I'm really impressed with David Philman. You know, when he played for Bruce Enns here, he wasn't a real aggressive ball player, but he's become a lot tougher in the last couple of years, and he really plays with a lot of feistiness underneath.
Rick Taves, number 21. Mark Johansson working against Trevor Hoylett.
Again, a Westman got a step on a Bison, and that's happened throughout this first half. It's 35-26 right now. Winnipeg can go up 11. They are playing at their pace. They're getting that step. Manitoba's spending a lot of time flat-footed on defense, and it's hurt them.
Mark Johansson at the line. Now a 10-point lead as Jeff House will come back into the game for the Bison. Johansson in his 5th year. He's recovered from off-season knee surgery, and by the looks of this first half, it was rather successful knee surgery. Looks like he's all the way back.
Sure, he's all the way back, and he's a good shooter, and that's why Suffield has him back in the game, because he needs somebody to provide them with some offense. Now, this team is much better than a team with 26 points after 17 minutes.
Rather casual-looking Rick Suffield. Just moments ago, he was biting his nails.
I think Rick knows that this team can score some points. 26 points out of the Bisons at a pretty quick pace is not very good.
Joe Uggams draws the crowd back out to Garrow. And Garrow put it up.
That'll do it. That helps in a hurry. That three-pointer, that's 2 of them for Garrow in the first half.
Taves. Outside to Johansson. Taves from inside the three-point line.
You just can't give Canadian University basketball players free 16-foot shots, and that's exactly what Burke Taves had.
Martin to Jeff House. To Martin. He'll take it.
There again, you can't give them the free ones.
Now we're getting a shooting display.
Well, because there's no defense being played.
Right. Geeman. Rebound by Uggams.
Maybe the bubble has burst here, Joe. Murray Geeman's missed his last 2.
Great behind-the-back pass by Uggams to get it to Garrow. Garrow off balance.
They're going to give David Philman that foul, and I can't believe it. Winnipeg had the ball anyway. Philman just went up tough. I'm sitting here arguing with I argue with referees wherever I go, Joe. But I can't believe that they would give Dave Philman the foul in a situation where all he did was try to go up straight and hard. The rebound had come down to Willie Parker anyway. So now Parker gets the free throws.
Well, Philman went back down court and had a little chat with Vic Gilman.
Well, I would have given him more than a chat.
Parker back at the line. And now he'll go for bonus.
It is a non-contact sport, Joe, but these are men playing, and it's a very tough game under the hoop. And when there's a little bit of contact but no advantage taken, I think the ball has to go to the team that got it. And Willie Parker had done the job to box out. He had position and he had the ball. There was no need to make the call.
10-point lead for Winnipeg, 41-31. Under 2 minutes remaining in this opening half. Jeff House to Garrow. Good pass by Garrow to Uggams. Uggams is caught for traveling.
I don't think Joe Uggams ever expected to get the ball. It was a great pass by Terry Garrow. I think Uggams was trying to go out and set a screen someplace for Garrow and ended up with the ball in his hands and traveled.
Just 4 points in this first half for Uggams, and they need more than that. Good block there that time by Uggams against Voth, and we're going to have a jump ball. And the arrow is pointing in Winnipeg's direction, so they'll retain possession.
You see, that's what's the exceptional thing about Joseph Uggams is his great physical abilities. He jumped there, and Merv Voth wasn't even in it in the leaping contest with Joe Uggams. Joseph has to go inside on offense as well.
Vickery will take the three-pointer.
Whoa. Now it's a 13-point lead. And now the Bisons have got to start to think about what kind of pace they want to play. Do they speed it up and take the big shots, or do they try to just keep it slowed down and play their type of ball?
Got Martin.
That kid's a pretty shooter. Really a pretty shooter.
And Will Parker's going to take his time. Westman want to protect that big 11-point lead they've got. Nice shot by Parker.
The Bison defense is just allowing the Westmen to walk in and get 12, 14, 15-foot shots. They cannot continue to do that, and I know Rick Suffolk will say a few things to his charges at halftime.
Looks like he's getting ready over there by that bench.
He's slowed down his own pace. He's going to talk pretty tough about defense, I would think.
Philman with the aggressive rebound. And Gieman gets called for the foul, and that's his second.
We're going to have another look at it. This is a foul, no question. This is Major League. But again, we see that David Philman gets into it and plays tough. The ball goes up, good rebound. It comes to Philman. He takes it right to the hoop. Strong forces the foul on Murray Gieman, and will get a couple of shots. But that's been the improvement of David Philman since he came out of high school. It's his ability to play tough underneath.
Philman will shoot two. Doesn't waste any time about it either. Voth comes up with the rebound.
I would expect the Westmen will play for the last one with 12 seconds to go.
And they go for the three-point shot. 8 seconds remaining. Parker inside to Voth. He makes that shot.
Super effort, and that's the end of the half. What an effort at the end of the half for the Westmen to end up taking a 14-point lead, Joe.
Tough first half for Merv Voth, but then he makes that turnaround
Makes
shot.
the shot with 3 seconds to play in the half. The Westmen lead 48-34, but don't panic, sport fans. It was 48-36 at the half at the Westman Classic for the Westmen. The Bisons came back and won at 88-87.
All right, that score should be reversed. It's Winnipeg out in front of Manitoba, 48-34. We'll be back with a feature on little Joey Vickery of the Westmen after this.
Aw, no. What am I going to do now?
Don't worry, Liquid Leather will fix it. Your favorite chair damaged? Liquid Leather will fix it. What about your vinyl top or dashboard? Is it in need of repair? Liquid Leather's the one to fix this, too. Now, with Liquid Leather, you can repair vinyl, naugahyde, and genuine leather without the use of heat. That's right. You just apply and let dry. It's that simple. Dashboards and vinyl tops are easily repaired with Liquid Leather. You just apply and let dry. Many things around your home, auto, and boat can easily be repaired with Liquid Leather. The Liquid Leather color compounds mix easily to give you the correct shade. Then just apply and let dry. It's really that simple. The rip in this chair looks awful, but wait. Apply the patented Liquid Leather repair compound, cover with the texture paper, and let dry. It's that simple with Liquid Leather. Just look at that repair job, almost as good as new. Liquid Leather can easily repair those scrapes and scuff marks on your shoes and boots, restoring your footwear to like-new condition. Tore that expensive leather coat of yours? Liquid Leather will make it look almost as good as new.
My invention to repair vinyl, naugahyde, and leather without heat is guaranteed to work. Just apply and let dry. It's that simple.
Act now, and we'll include at no extra cost our free fabric mender kit, men's rips and tears in fabric and velour. Everything you need is in your Liquid Leather kit, including the free fabric mender. No special tools are required. Just apply and let dry. Liquid Leather, not available in stores. Here's how to order.
Visa or MasterCard orders, call toll-free 1-800-268-6364 or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $3 postage and handling to Liquid Leather, 200-155 Carlton Street, Winnipeg, Manitoba, R3C0H6. That toll-free number, once again, is 1-800-268-6364. That's 1-800-268-6364. Order now.
He's playing the sport of basketball, and he's only 5'10". But that doesn't stop 19-year-old Joey Vickery from being one of the Winnipeg Westmen's best offensive threats. Vickery's in his second season of play for the Westmen. Last year, he was named the GPAC Rookie of the Year, and he's off to another great start. He plays the game where the average height is around 6'3", and yet is often the team's leading scorer. Because of his height, Vickery says he plays his game a little different from the rest.
My style of play is shooting outside shots, get me open, play my type of game. This is perfect. Everyone's short and we're all fast, and we just run the ball up the floor, and some teams have a tough time matching up with us and us with them.
Westman head coach Bill Wedlake has nothing but praise for Vickery. Wedlake thinks he's definitely continuing from where he left off last season and is improving different parts of his game.
He's really, I think, started off this year exceptionally well and based it on, I think, a decent second half of the season he had last year. Towards the first part of last year, he needed a little bit of confidence. It came, and he, I think, helped us a tremendous amount during the stretch last year. This year, he's developed, I think, into a major force in Canadian college basketball, quite unique for a player that's only 5'10". While he is playing with the kind of confidence that he began to develop last year, he's also now starting to develop different facets of his game. His defense has improved considerable. It still needs a lot of work, but it has improved considerably.
Now, being named Rookie of the Year in any sport is always an honor, and for Vickery, it was no different. But with it comes the added pressure to perform the next season. Does Vickery feel that pressure so far this year? Well, he does, but just a little.
I feel a little pressure, and with the three-point line in this year, I feel a lot more relaxed because it's the outside shot and it's worth 3 points, so it sure opens up the game for me. I have more room to work one-on-one with my man, and as I say before, the outside shot's what I like most.
So Vickery hopes to complete his 5 years with the Westmen and then maybe try his hand at the new International Basketball League that'll start up next June. In the meantime, he'll continue to fill a tall order for the Winnipeg Westmen.
How far do your kids have to go when they need information in a hurry?
I better get to the library before it closes.
If he only had the new Encyclopedia Britannica at home, he wouldn't have to go through all this. He could be learning right now about science, art, nature, medicine, from the Ice Age to the Space Age, all the latest information on every subject, with thousands of colorful maps, photographs, and illustrations that bring it all to life. A 2-volume index makes information easier to find, whether you need fast answers or knowledge in depth. The new Encyclopedia Britannica. It's your key to the information age and the greatest learning tool available to your family. But they can't use it if they can't get to it.
Oh, darn, now what am I gonna do?
Why not help your kids to succeed by having the information they need right at home with Encyclopedia Britannica, the library that never closes. Now, it's easier than ever to give your family the Encyclopedia Britannica. Just call this toll-free number and we'll send you a free full-color booklet that tells you everything you want to know about your key to the information age. Plus, when you act now, you get your first copy of the exciting new Britannica World Data Annual. It's a free gift from Britannica Home Library Service when you acquire Britannica. And just for previewing Britannica in your home, you'll receive absolutely free this valuable 3-volume desk reference set. It's yours to keep with no obligation.
So call today, 1-800-268-6364, for your free booklet and details on how to receive this handsome 3-volume desk reference set. The booklet is free, and so is the call. Encyclopedia Britannica, the library that never closes.
48-34, the score in favor of the Winnipeg Westmen over the Manitoba Bison at the half. And Scott, certainly a good first half for the Westmen, not a good first half for the Bison.
The Westmen were able to play the game at their pace. It's as simple as that. They were able to bring the ball up quickly, not have to pass it around 4 or 5 times, just bring it up, get their shots. The Bisons defensively were not very strong. They allowed the Westmen too many 12, 14-foot shots.
The only good note for the Bisons in that first half was the play of Terry Garrow. He led them in scoring with 12 points, and here's an example of his play.
Great drive by Garrow, but he's got to go up over Big Merv Voth. Can't do it, follows his shot. A real good play. He out-rebounds Thomas, and then, with a lot of jam, takes it baseline between Voth and Thomas to make the layup.
The story of the first half was the play of Murray Geeman for the Westmen, 16 points.
Joe, might have been the finest game I've ever seen Geeman play. There he misses the first shot, follows nicely, gets hit on top of the head, still lays it in.
And at the end of that first half, Merv Voth finally found the range.
This is my favorite kind of shot. Don't look at the hoop, then throw it up, then look, then it goes in. It's 48-34, and that shot made it 48-34.
What changes are the Bisons going to have to make in the second half?
Well, they've got to be tougher defensively, there's no question about it, but I think they have to change the pace. We talked about it right off the top. It's a matter of tempo. The Bisons have to play their game, get it in deep to their big guys, Philman, Chris Adam, and get Joe Uggams playing low.
All right, we'll come back and take a look at those first half stats right after this. Winnipeg leading by 14 over Manitoba.
Aw, no. What am I going to do now?
Don't worry, Liquid Leather will fix it. Your favorite chair damaged? Liquid Leather will fix it. What about your vinyl top or dashboard? Is it in need of repair? Liquid Leather's the one to fix this, too. Now, with Liquid Leather, you can repair vinyl, naugahyde, and genuine leather without the use of heat. That's right. You just apply and let dry. It's that simple. Dashboards and vinyl tops are easily repaired with Liquid Leather. You just apply and let dry. Many things around your home, auto, and boat can easily be repaired with Liquid Leather. The Liquid Leather color compounds mix easily to give you the correct shade. Then just apply and let dry. It's really that simple. The rip in this chair looks awful, but wait. Apply the patented Liquid Leather repair compound, cover with the texture paper, and let dry. It's that simple with Liquid Leather. Just look at that repair job, almost as good as new. Liquid Leather can easily repair those scrapes and scuff marks on your shoes and boots, restoring your footwear to like-new condition. Tore that expensive leather coat of yours? Liquid Leather will make it look almost as good as new.
My invention to repair vinyl, naugahyde, and leather without heat is guaranteed to work. Just apply and let dry. It's that simple.
Act now, and we'll include at no extra cost our free fabric mender kit, men's rips and tears in fabric and velour. Everything you need is in your Liquid Leather kit, including the free fabric mender. No special tools are required. Just apply and let dry. Liquid Leather, not available in stores. Here's how to order.
Visa or MasterCard orders, call toll-free 1-800-268-6364 or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $3 postage and handling to Liquid Leather, 200-155 Carlton Street, Winnipeg, Manitoba, R3C0H6. That toll-free number, once again, is 1-800-268-6364. That's 1-800-268-6364. Order now.
48-34 the score in favor of the Winnipeg Westmen over the Manitoba Bisons in their first of 4 meetings this GPAC season. There you see the scoring stats from the first half. Murray Geeman with 16 points. He also had 7 rebounds. Will Parker with 10 for the Westmen. Terry Garrow leading the Bisons with 12. David Philman had 6.
In that first half, it was all a defensive problem, according to Rick Suffield. I had a chance during the break to talk to Rick. He went into the dressing room at halftime and said, guys, this is the worst defensive performance we've had. He said, we're either going to win this one in a tight one, or else we're going to get blown away because you guys just want to pack your bags. And that's exactly what Suffield told his team. Now they have to come out and play tougher defense. He was happy with the pace, Joe. He actually liked it. He thought that it was a lot slower than it was during the Westman Classic, and that there was no reason, other than the fact that his team didn't play tough defense, that they aren't in this game.
There you see Winnipeg coach Bill Wedlake.
Bill Wedlake has to be pleased, but he's seen this before. He had that 12-point lead the last time they met.
This time he starts off the half with a 14-point advantage. Chris Adam to David Philman. It looked like a good block there by Thomas.
And it was probably a good block. Vic Gilman has said it. The foul came after the shot. We're going to have another look. Great pass by Chris Adam to David Philman. Just beautiful. There's the block, and they say that Thomas fell in to David Philman, and they're going to give the Bisons the ball on the end line. So they say the foul took place after the shot.
Foul number 3 in this game for Mike Thomas. Jeff House to Joe Uggam. Chris Adam goes up, changes hands, and it's in.
He's a left-hander, and so many defensive players forget he's a left-hander. So he took it in, controlled the ball nicely, protected it with his right hand, was fouled on the right hand, and made the real good left-handed shot. We'll have a look at it. So he takes it up. Mark Johansson hits the right hand. He's not going to shoot with that anyway, and now he has a three-point play opportunity.
Getting the foul straightened away with the official score. And Chris Adam, the graduate of Oak Park High School, gives the Bisons another point, 48-37. Winnipeg leading. As their lead has been cut to 11. Inside to Mervoth.
It's been very interesting to me, Joe, that Winnipeg has been able to go inside at will, and again, the Bison's defense was ineffective.
Garrow takes the three-pointer. And the rebound comes up to Jeff House. To Joe Uggam. Rebound by Garrow, but he doesn't agree with it necessarily.
Garrow was a little angry. I thought he had pretty good position there. It's his second personal foul. We're going to have another look at the way this foul comes up. Joe Uggam's an off-balance shot. The rebound comes off. Garrow's elbowed in the back by Parker and gets good position. I don't know. We've got the benefit of the replay, however. That is really Parker's credit. That was a pretty good shot he did.
It's true. Joey Vickery goes back outside. Johansson. In a crowd. No prayer for that shot. Johansson gets the ball back and puts it in.
Good effort. Mark Johansson threw up a bad shot, followed it. The Westmen were all over the hoop. They're owning the basket right now. They're owning that 3-foot area around the hoop, and there's no reason they should. It's just toughness that's doing it.
Well, Joe Uggam did not warm up prior to the second half, and looks a little cold out there as Johansson takes the shot. Johansson gets the rebound back again as Uggam made no attempt to go for the loose ball.
I'm not sure about Joe Uggam, but Mike Thomas made one of the best rebounds I've seen in a long time. Jeff House may have injured that knee. He grabbed it as soon as he went up and landed. You were talking about that knee operation in the offseason. Here we have a look at it. Good drive. Great block by Joey Vickery.
It was on the plant.
It was on the plant. He hurt his knee on the plant. You're right, Joe. That could be a real blow to the Bisons, not only for this game, but all season.
Jeff House
he's re-injured that knee.
Jeff House expected to fill the shoes of his brother Tony, not with the Bisons this year. Joe Uggam is really struggling.
And I just don't understand why. He did a good job there, went hard for the rebound. Just doesn't seem to have his touch or his confidence, and the Westmen are being tough underneath. They're forcing Uggams to take whatever shot they can force him to take, and they're keeping the hand in his face.
Scott Martin does a good job of saving that ball before it went over center. Garrow to Martin. Inside to Philman. Philman will take the jumper.
Nice soft touch by David Philman.
A bad roll for Vickery.
And Mike Thomas is going to draw his fourth, I believe, Joe.
Mike Thomas with another foul, number 4.
And Mike Thomas will go out of the game. There's Jeff House getting some attention by the trainer. And he is in pain. He's really hurting. As Mike Thomas goes to the bench, and back comes Dean Goodbranson.
Scott Martin back out to Philman. Good job by Philman to keep that flat foot down.
Go into the hoop hard, and that's the key for David Philman's game. I've been impressed with him tonight.
Murray Geeman, 18 for him.
Whoever would have thought? What a terrific effort shooting, especially by Murray Geeman.
54-41, Winnipeg in front as Scott Martin puts it up. And Good Branson comes up with a rebound.
Well, it's nice to have a forward who can handle the ball. Good Branson was in trouble. As Willie Parker travels. But Good Branson was in trouble underneath and was able to get out of it because he can handle the ball pretty well.
13-point lead for the Westmen. They started the second half with a 14-point advantage. The Bisons have been only able to cut it to one as Joe Uggams misses again. Branson back out to Will Parker. Johansson. Good pass inside, and there's no doubt about that foul.
He was pushed by Scott Martin. There was no way Willie was going to get the ball inside. Scott Martin had made a decision that Will Parker was not going to take that pass. You know, there was a time I thought Willie Parker was a better golfer than a basketball player. I'm beginning to eat my words. He's really become a leader on this team.
Vickery with the three-pointer. Rebound by Johansson. Good pass by Vickery to Geeman, and another foul by Philman. And I think Philman got a little bit of a kick in there. I'm not sure.
We're going to have another look at this one. This is out of character for David Philman, but it just shows how tough he can be. Murray Geeman is fouled twice, and then he's pushed to the floor by David Philman. If you're going to come in there and try to make layups, you're going to hurt.
You see David Philman, and no doubt about that foul.
Oak Park grad and a tough kid, and we've given a technical foul to David Philman. It's essentially an intentional foul, is the call this year. And there's the ice on Jeff House's leg over there. He's got it elevated. Murray Geeman misses both free throws, but the Westmen will get the ball back. There we're looking at Jeff House. He's obviously in agony.
And the season is over.
It looks like, doesn't it? It looks like it's very serious and could be the end of the season for Jeff House.
A season that really just never got underway.
That's a traveler.
Kirk Taves not getting away with that little bit of fancy footwork. Good Branson. Second time today I've done that to Dean. My apologies to Burke Taves.
Well, he's getting more floor time. More than he knows.
Joe Uggams. Bisons need him to get hot. That pass went right through the legs of Garrow.
They're starting to try to force the ball inside now, and they can't afford to do that. This is a team that shoots well outside. I mean, Terry Garrow can get this team back with 2 or 3 three-pointers. They're trying to force it. They can't do that on offense, and they've got to play tougher on defense.
Will Parker now to Vickery. Inside to Geeman. Good job by Geeman. Oh, well, that was an aggressive foul. I think Geeman was saying, well, you do it to me, I'm going to do it to you.
That was an offensive foul, and Bill Wedling is not happy. Here we have to look at it. Geeman is pushed away. That's a non-call for sure, and then he elbows Terry Garrow. It's his third personal foul, and that's a problem, and Bill Wedlake's called the timeout. He's very concerned about that. It was an off-balance play, and it was something Murray Geeman doesn't do well.
54-41, Winnipeg out in front. We'll be back to the Athletic Center after this.
You got to contain your guys on defense now. All right, you got to play,
Day or evening, drop into Sportsman Enterprises, 271 Madison at Ness in Winnipeg. Sportsman Enterprises carry top brand name downhill and cross-country ski equipment, including specially selected skis and poles at reasonable prices. Visit Sportsman on Madison for a variety of ski wear, ski boots and accessories, from ski supplies and rentals to service and advice. It's Sportsman Enterprises, 271 Madison at Ness, just west of Polo Park off Route 90. They have it all, except the snow.
For the best in Canadian university basketball, come to the University of Winnipeg Athletic Center Saturday, February 28th and Sunday, March the 1st for the GPAC Men's Championship. The top 4 teams meet to decide the GPAC champion with semifinals at 6:15 and 8 on Saturday with the championship final at 5 o'clock Sunday. the GPAC Men's Basketball Championship weekend. Don't miss any of the action at the Winnipeg Athletic Center, Saturday, February 28th, and Sunday, March the 1st.
Push it up a little harder now. Push it up a little harder. Let's go. Let's take the ball to the hole. We need some more penetration. All right, we've got a little penetration. Move that ball up. All right, defense is decent because they have no offense. Keep hustling up. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
That's a good line. The defense is decent because they've got no offense.
They have not played intelligently. It's that simple. And Bill Wedlake's right. He's telling his team that their defense isn't great. It's decent because the Bisons have done nothing offensively. If the Bisons start to get the ball inside and are able to do things, then Winnipeg's going to have to pressure the ball outside and not allow them to get it inside. As it is, Winnipeg looks pretty good because Manitoba hasn't been able to do anything.
And Manitoba is helping Winnipeg look good. Scott Martin. To Garrow. And he causes Will Parker to draw the foul, and that's number 3 for Parker. So the Westmen here running into foul problems with Geeman, Parker with 3, and Thomas with 4.
And if a player like Terry Garrow can continue to control the play and handle the ball a lot, the Westmen could be in bigger trouble.
Scott Martin. That pass intercepted by Goodbranson. Good dish out to Parker. To Merv Voss.
Super bucket by Merv Voss. Great pass by Willie Parker. A great effort as Voss takes it to the hoop and forces the foul on David Philman. Watch this pass. Super to Merv Voss. Goes up strong. Philman makes the foul. And the Westmen can now improve their lead to 16 points.
Foul number 3 for David Philman.
I'll tell you what, Joe, if you told me before the game that this was going to be a blowout, I'd have thought you were crazy, but it's obvious right now that the Westmen have the upper hand.
Joe Uggam. And he causes to give that ball away. Scott Martin, fortunately for the Bisons, gets it back. Uggam will take the shot. It's only 2. He was stepping on the line as he let it go.
That was a bad shot, too. Joseph Uggam should be taking shots from 8 feet from the hoop, not from 18.
Will Parker now. Baseline to Voss. Good block by Uggam. Maybe he's back in it.
Best defensive play of the game by Joseph Uggams, but a really, really super play by Willie Parker to get it inside to Voss, and then Parker forces Garrow into an offensive foul. And Terry Garrow is going to be called for a technical. Terry Garrow lost his cool right there. Rick Suffield is not happy. Tony Scott is not happy. The Bisons need a timeout to try to regroup. They just got a good bucket by Uggams, a good defensive play by Uggams. A turnover on the offensive foul shouldn't kill them, and then a technical foul might. Winnipeg's missed 3 of those 3 ones.
And that is not making Bill Wedlake happy. They've got a chance to really put the Bisons away, and they keep leaving the door open.
14 points for a team as good as Manitoba is not insurmountable. Certainly a team as big as Manitoba.
Vickery to Johansson, to Parker. Johansson, the steal by Garrow, and Johansson gets called for the foul. Number 2 for Johansson.
That was a foul that probably saved a layup. So as fouls go, it's a good one. But Mark Johansson has to be careful.
Scott Martin. To Garrow, inside to Philman. Philman couldn't handle it. Here come the Westmen. Parker drives the lane. And Chris Adam, I think.
Willie's a little upset. Chris Adam is going to take the foul. But Willie Parker with a great drive. Adam fouls him there. Parker carries through and misses the layup, but a super effort by Willie Parker after he made the steal at the other end.
Chris Adam with his 3rd foul, and he's out of the game at the moment, sitting on the bench as Neil Enns comes in. You take a look at Will Parker.
Wedlake has finally sat down. He's very concerned about these free throws.
That's got to make him a lot happier. 16 points. Winnipeg leading.
Terry Carroll, a bad pass by Scott Martin. It's a pass he shouldn't have made. He's very concerned about where Joe Uggams was on the play as the Westmen have gone into this little half-court trap right now. Scott Martin, not the same amount of experience as Jeff House has had.
Johansson to Parker to Vaughn.
Oh, what a bucket by Willie Parker. Outstanding position, an outstanding tap. That's the basket of the night as Will Parker, undersized, goes in and makes the bucket. And that just might be in microcosm the story of this game. Winnipeg obviously wants it. The Bisons, it doesn't seem like they do.
Here comes Vickery, another turnover by the Bison. Vickery takes this shot.
Joey Vickery's been pretty quiet throughout the game with 7 points. Could bury Manitoba right now. Of course, if Winnipeg hasn't done so already.
Another turnover.
Steal.
Vickery can't save it.
We're going to have a look at Will Parker's effort. Merv Voth goes up with the shot. He misses. Watch Willie Parker get position. Outstanding tap over Joseph Uggams. The play of the game.
And Joe Uggams will take a rest.
Trevor Hoylett comes in. They need somebody to handle the ball.
They need players to get into the game.
You're right. They need somebody who's going to stick his nose in it right now.
Scott Martin doing it all on his own. And Geeman draws the foul.
Bad play by Geeman for his 4th personal, but a good play by Scotty Martin to force the foul. Geeman shouldn't have left his feet. There's no need to when you've got a 6 or 7 inch height advantage. Of course, I've never had a 6 or 7 inch height advantage, Joe. I'm sure you haven't.
Certainly not when I'm working with Don Lamont. I think we got 2 mics on that opening.
Merv Voth returns to the game for the Westmen. Murray Geeman will sit with his 4 personal. Bill Wedlake screaming at his team to suck it up. They've got a 20-point lead. All I have to do is play intelligent, tough basketball, and the Bisons have called timeout.
12:32 remaining in the second half. We'll be back to the Athletic Center after this.
The popularity of dancing cheek to cheek is back. Yes, people of all ages are getting into ballroom dancing. And why not? It's fun to swing.
Baby, he don't talk sweet. He ain't got much to say.
Dance the cha-cha. Ken Matthews will show you how. And they have a special on now. We'll tell you about that later. Learn the dance that has become the toast of New York. The passionate tango. You'll be mastering intricate steps in no time with expert instruction from Ken Matthews Dance Studio. Nothing is quite so beautiful as the waltz. Yes, ballroom dancing is a wonderful way to meet new friends, become more comfortable on the dance floor, and stay in shape. You'll get lots of exercise dancing the polka. Dancing is fun, so enroll now. Here's Ken Matthews' special offer.
Right now, you can get 7 dance lessons for only $35. Call 942-3292.
There you see the Bison huddle and Coach Rick Suffield in the middle of it. And Suffield has got to be saying to these players, let's get into the game as you take a look at Bill Wedlake.
Okay? You understand? You guys are okay at the top, right? Don't let the penetration through the middle. High post, you double. Double, and Merv will freeze it till you're there. All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
The Westmen obviously want to double team at the top. When the Bisons bring it down, they want a half-court trap and then double the ball all the time to make sure the Bisons don't take the penetration. If the Bisons are allowed to penetrate, and we said this right off the top, they have the superior physical skills to be able to make layups. However, the Westmen have been able to cut it off all night.
Scott Martin, 5 points for him on the game.
So the Bisons have gone to the full court press. Now it's up to Willie Parker and Joey Vickery to break it.
That's Will Parker with the ball, calling out the signals, calling out the offense. To Branson, to Vickery. To Johansson, inside the three-point line, off the rim. And a bad break for the Bisons.
Neil Enns had to make the play because Joey Vickery would have had the ball. A tough break for Neil Enns when he was on the line, but Joey Vickery, a great job of hustling to force Enns into the mistake.
Vickery. Garrow working against him, the Spores. Garrow's just not going to let him try to get that shot away, but Vickery gets away enough.
You can't keep Joey Vickery quiet for an entire night, and that's what frightens Rick Suffield the most right now.
And Vickery did a good job there of getting in front of Hoylett, causing Hoylett to travel.
The Westmen are in complete control now. They have a 20-point lead with less than 12 minutes to go. All it is now is a matter of intelligence, and this game is theirs.
Vickery gets the ball back. Didn't get the favorable bounce off the rim. Parker inside, and no doubt about that, Neil Enns banging body.
Dean Goodbranson has really done a great job for the Westmen, offensively and defensively. He's got great hands, a good shooting touch underneath, but he's also tough. And right there, Neil Enns tried to get position. He couldn't. Goodbranson did, and the Westmen still have the ball. They're going to get the free throws in the bonus.
You know, Scott, except for the Westman Classic, the Bisons have been struggling this season. And I guess everyone thought, and we all thought, that after that Westman Classic performance, that they'd turn their season around. Maybe they haven't.
Well, I think it's really frightening when we look over at the bench right now and see Jeff House with that ice pack on, obviously depressed. He knows that something is very seriously wrong with that knee. That could really hurt Manitoba because they need a point guard with some experience and with confidence.
Scott Martin to Garrow. Inside to Enns, back to Martin. Back to Garrow.
Super bucket by Terry Garrow, and that's the man they have to go to now. He has to make lots of shots and some three-pointers as well.
Scott, we played 9 minutes of the first half. Terry Garrow's first 2 points. Or the second half, I should say. Will Parker knocked down. Trevor Hoylett looking like a defensive back on that last play.
There's that touch of Goodbranson. You can't leave him alone at 15 feet. He makes the easy set shot.
69-47, 22-point advantage. As Goodbranson gets called for the foul.
That was a foul he didn't need to make. It was a foul for being out of position.
And Dan Brown now into the game for the Bisons, number 44.
We'll see Dan Brown for the first time.
River East Collegiate graduate, second year with the Herd. And Terry Garrow now 4 for 4 from the line in this game. And he'll have to start taking some three-pointers soon.
Sure he will, but it's a matter for Winnipeg now to just play intelligently. Another nice touch, just rolls off. But there's Johansson on the boards. I'm not sure that Winnipeg should have won the rebounding competition tonight, but they've won it easily. We're going to have another look. Nice soft touch by Goodbranson. He'd argue it should have gone down. It didn't, but Johansson's there for a great rebound. Dan Brown's just standing there with his arms straight up in the air, and Johansson has himself a free throw.
Well, Winnipeg's winning the battle for the rebounds because they're the only ones going after the loose balls.
They're the ones that are playing tough. They wanted to win this game. There's no question about it. Manitoba came in tentatively. I guess their concern about tempo all week has caught up with them, and maybe the tempo was so fast that they just weren't ready to play.
$11 points for Mark Johansson in this game. 71-49. 10-10 remaining in the second half. Neil Enns with the hook shot.
Lovely bucket by Neil Enns.
Goodbranson to Vickery. Almost a beautiful basket by Will Parker.
That was a good effort by Parker trying to go baseline against Scott Martin. He probably made a dumb foul trying to go for the rebound. He didn't have a chance at it, but you see, that's been the difference all night. It really takes the sport personal. As we said, though, it's been the difference all night. Winnipeg wants that ball. Manitoba expects it to drop to them. And then that's exactly what Rick Suffield told his team at halftime. There you have a look at Bill Wedlake, the old St. John's coach who took over from Bruce Enns and has done a sensational job at the UW.
And Trevor Hoylett making the first half of the bonus successful. Both teams into the bonus. (71-53) Winnipeg leading Manitoba on CKND Game of the Week. Johansson has to go back out as Trevor Hoylett did a little bit of blocking.
That was a good play by safety. There was no question that he had the upper hand there as he decked Johansson. However, in this game, Johansson gets 2 free ones as checking into the game for Manitoba is number 11, Paul Bryant.
We're certainly seeing the Bison bench.
Well, I think Rick Suffield at this point in time with an 18-point disadvantage wants to see all of his players.
Johansson 5 for 5 from the line. Six for 6. And it's a 20-point game once again. Garrow will have to start taking the three-pointers.
What a great check by Goodbranson. You know, Dean Goodbranson has really played a heck of a game. Coming in off the bench, not starting, coming in cold, doing a great job at both ends of the floor, and that was a good block there.
There's a turnover. Here comes Joey Vickery.
This time he gets the roll. What a touch. A fade away, fall away to his left, flip it up, have it bounce around the rim and go in. That's a touch.
Bryant, good pass.
Lovely pass to Neil Hand. Best pass of the game by Manitoba. Just a great pass by Paul Bryant.
Vickery. Outside. Goodbranson to Vickery. Johansson. And the Westmen content to let the time tick away. They're in no hurry. Johansson. And Larry Wondowich.
It's going to be Larry Wondowich. We're going to have a look at Joey Vickery's bucket. It's a one-on-one situation against Bryant. Vickery falling away to his left. Look at that touch. 3, 4, 5 in. What an effort by Joey Vickery, but that's touch. I mean, that's the kind of touch you had in that celebrity game earlier in the year, I know, Joe.
And good camera work by our rookie with the camera.
Outstanding.
Bill Nazer as Trevor Hoylett continues his 100% accuracy from the line.
Suffield's put Joel Thiemann into the game. He's decided to go strictly with his bench. Down 19 points with 8 minutes to play. He's going to see what he's got sitting down there. It'll be an opportunity for the youngsters to get a chance to play.
Paul Bryant getting the foul there for the Bison. Vickery will go to the line.
So Joey Vickery with 11 points already, a guy who averages over 20. You know, if they leave him in the ball game, he's going to have 20 before this one's over anyway. But it's interesting that Joey Vickery, offensively, at any rate, was not part of Winnipeg getting ahead by 20 points. But defensively, Joey Vickery was very strong, especially at the head of that little trap they ran, and when it came to double teaming the point guard.
This game ostensibly won in the first half by Murray Gaiman and the rest of the Winnipeg Westmen. Manitoba just does not show up to play tonight.
But give credit where credit's due. Winnipeg certainly did. They played extremely tough on the boards at both ends, did a great defensive job. And now Joey controls the game.
Joey Vickery. He's got 16.
16 points for Vickery. That's his second three-pointer. Good pass by Hoylett. And
nice
good
play.
pass. Dan Brown.
Lovely effort for Danny Brown. I'm sure that will make Suffield a little happier to see these guys come in and play pretty well. I think we're going to see Brian Gray coming off the bench now.
Johansson. Rebound by Brown. And Paul Bryant brings it up court for the Bisons. Brown to Bryant. To Brown to Hoylett. What a block by Both.
Merv Both has just been tremendous tonight. Murray Gaiman. You see Brian Gray going to check back into the game. Murray Gaiman, Bert Taves, and Willie Parker all come back in. Merv Both will leave, Joey Vickery will leave, and Mark Johansson will leave. Neil Enns will sit down for the Bisons as we get wholesale changes. Right now, the Bisons have all their youngsters into the ballgame. Super bucket by Trevor Hoylett.
Well, the reserves are certainly playing better than the starters.
You're right. When you said the Bisons didn't come to play, you're absolutely right. The reserves obviously have. They want an opportunity to play.
Goodbranson off the rim. Brown comes up with a rebound.
There you have a look at Rick Suffield chewing his gum, looking very, very disappointed. And I think that's the only way you can. Talking to Rick at halftime, it was obvious that he wasn't angry, he wasn't upset at his team. He was just very disappointed with the way they came in here in front of a good crowd, lots of Manitoba supporters, and played so badly.
The Jeff House, Dan Brown was successful from the line. One more time. A little more aggressive defensive play by the Bison. Paul Bryant has it. Hoylett. Bad pass by Hoylett, causing the turnover. 5:40 remaining. 80-61 for the Westmen.
There's that great touch by Goodbranson again. That's his 8th point of the ballgame.
Got to, with this loss by the Bisons, I think that'll drop them right out of the top 10.
Well, you're on the top 10 committee. I'm not absolutely convinced that McMaster is the 4th-ranked team in the country. McMaster came into the Westman Classic. The Bisons beat them. The Bisons are 5th and McMaster's 4th. Now, I know that's oversimplifying things, because when you pick a top 10, you have to look at the records right across the country. And the worst thing about Canadian college basketball is that there's probably Victoria and Brandon, and then maybe the next 12 schools can be put in a hat and picked out game by game.
Well, Western Ontario is it's a strong team. If we get a blocking call against Parker. And that is it for Mr. Parker.
Is that Marlon Parker? Marlon Brando Parker, as he fouls out.
Fouls out, 14-point effort for Will Parker this evening, and he gets a well-deserved hand.
Willie Parker had a lot to do with the victory tonight, there was no question. His defense was outstanding. He scored points when he had to, and was offensively intelligent. He made great passes, did a good job rebounding. Just a terrific effort by Willie Parker.
Joel Thiemann at the line for the Herd. So the Bisons got into the top 10 on their performance at the Westman Classic as they beat 3 then top 10 ranked schools, McMaster, Toronto, and Winnipeg, of course, in the final 88-87.
Would you be able to call that a great pass? Joey Vickery was obviously going to shoot the ball. He threw an air ball up. We're going to have another peek at it as you look at Joel Thiemann. Here comes Vickery. He goes to the baseline. That was a shot. It was just an air ball, and Rob Jansen had good position, did a nice job for the rebound, and was fouled, and will get the 2 free throws. Ideal, great pass, Joey.
Johansson back into the game. 4:42 remaining. Can the Westmen get 100? I'm sure they'd love to.
Yeah, I think they'd really like to stick it to Manitoba, but by the same token, I'm not sure Bill Wedley wants to do that, because twice more he has to go into the Bison East gym. I think this is one of the great rivalries, certainly in sport in this province, maybe in amateur sport across the country. I just don't think you want to spend time really putting it in somebody's face, because it's all going to even out eventually.
Well, Scott, these reserves for the Bisons are playing much better than the starters. That basket there by Thielman. Great pass from Brown.
Well, no, it's obvious the reserves want to play, and the starters proved that they didn't. And that's a very disappointed team on that Manitoba bench right now.
Rebound. Geeman with the block.
Outstanding block by Geeman.
Brian Gray with the shot.
We're going to have another peek at it. Rebound comes up. Brian Gray in great position. And we lose it. We'll go back to the live action.
Bryant from the outside.
Would you say at this point, with 3:54 to go, that Manitoba has cut it to 15? Probably not, but you have to give those reserves a lot of credit.
Well, the Bisons cut it to 10. You'll see Wedlake put in some of the starters. Actually, he's got most of them out there right now.
Well, the only reserves in the game right at this time are Chris Hicks and Rob Jansen. Manitoba has a strictly reserve club out there.
Paul Bryant with the impossible shot.
Good job. Good bucket by Hicks. Great pass by Joey Vickery.
85-68. Winnipeg in front. And Geeman knocks that pass out of bounds, intended for Brown.
Ooh, I thought Geeman did knock it out of bounds, and they're saying that Dan Brown may have been the last to touch it.
Well, no argument from the Bison, so obviously he had a bad view of it. It certainly did look like Geeman knocked it out of bounds. Murray Geeman, 16 points in the first half, just 2 in the second. As Hicks leads it for Vickery. Joey Vickery goes down hard, and he is hurt. Joey Vickery has hurt his ankle.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know.
This could be tense. Bill Wedlake has walked right out onto the floor. He's going to say something to Vic Gilman. He's really upset at Vic Gilman. Uh-oh.
This does not look good. Well, Jeff House season is over by the looks of it, and hopefully Joey Vickery is not the same. Well, we saw in a game a couple of years ago, Perry Scarlett accidentally stepping on Joe Uggams, and that ended his career.
Well, Perry wouldn't like you to say it ended his career. Perry intends to end UBC, plays for Bruce Enns next season. But there you see Joey Vickery being carried off the floor by the trainer.
And the Westmen called timeout. 85-68 the score, 2:37 remaining.
And Joey is obviously in pain as we have a look at him.
This is a lead game. We've got to play them again. This is not fooling around. We're serious and we play hard.
You see the John Taylor Collegiate cheerleaders. They're here on behalf of the Bison.
Shooters. All right, we're not getting our hands on shooters. We got to play it hard. All right, hard again. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, got that?
Our next CK&D game of the week, a week from this Saturday, January 24th, 1 o'clock, International Midget Hockey, Team Western versus the Soviet Union's national under-17 team, and quite a hockey game. You won't want to miss that one.
Substitution starting on the left with number 14, Dean Gilbert, and North on switch in. And for the first time, number 22, Central forward Jason Friesen.
Into the game now for the Westmen, Jason Friesen, number 22, to Murray Gaiman.
Heck of a bucket by Gaiman. He really challenged the 6'9" guy, Brian Gray.
20 points for Gaiman. Brian Gray missing. Hoylett couldn't put in the rebound.
This Rob Jansen's done a nice job on the boards. Reserves on both sides have done a good job. Oh, super drive. Quinn Branford has been exceptional tonight.
10 points. 89-68. Joel Thielman.
It's the first opportunity we've had to see him. That was a great shot.
And a three-pointer. Gaiman.
Bill Wedlake has to be awfully pleased, not only with the play of Murray Gaiman, but with the fact that his team is going to win by a substantial margin. It's 91-71 with 1:20 to go.
Paul Bryant showing that he can shoot from outside.
Wedlake has sent a message back to Rick Suffield after the Bisons came back to win that first meeting of the season.
And Paul Bryant caught reaching in. 1:08 remaining to play. And the only doubt we have remaining is, can the Western get 100 points?
Joey Vickery being taped up. They want to make sure that the swelling doesn't get too bad. Joey Vickery is a very, very important member of that basketball team. As Murray Gaiman comes out with 22 points, you're looking at Jeff House, who is obviously very, very concerned. The pain has probably subsided for the moment, but whether he can play again is another question.
93-73.
The Westmen will just sit in that zone down to the end of the ball game and let Manitoba do whatever they like.
Another Winnipeg foul.
I think the officials would just as soon they quit playing defense and let this one finish. Joseph Ogum's obviously not playing one of his better games. Sitting at the end of the bench is very, very concerned with his play, as you can tell. Or is he just falling asleep?
Well, I think his play in this game
indicates that he may have fallen asleep early in the ball game.
Well,
it wasn't Joseph's best performance.
And he wasn't very happy. I mean, he didn't even come out in the second half, prior to the second half, to warm up. He just went to the end of the bench and just sat there and looked at the clock. Paul Bryant.
Nice tip in by Goodbranson. That would have been
goaltending.
Goaltending anyway.
Got to be impressed with Paul Bryant. He's really showed his stuff.
I'm impressed with every kid that's come off the bench for the Bisons and for the Western.
Merv Voss.
Oh, great three-point play. Poor Brian Gray has had some trouble with Merv Voss and Murray Gaiman.
You know, you would have said in that first half it was not going to be Merv Voss tonight.
Here he comes. He challenges the big guy. The big guy can't get off the floor. He makes the bucket and is fouled. Great effort.
24 seconds remaining as Merv Voss has the chance to make it 96-75, and he does. Unless the Bisons turn it over quickly, Weston will not break 100.
And I think that would just make Bill Wedlake as happy as if they did. I don't think Bill Wedlake is either the type of guy. That's a great play.
Yeah.
I think he's intelligent enough to realize that the same thing could happen to him anytime with these two teams playing.
96-77, total domination by the Winnipeg Westmen as you take a look at Bill Wedlake. First GPAC win of the season for the Westmen as they lost their first two games to the Brandon Bobcats. Manitoba Bisons now winless in 3, and it looks like it's going to be a long season for the Herd.
Manitoba's a better team than they played in this ball game, and I think they'll come back, especially against Lakehead and Regina. They're going to have a tough time against Brandon, and I think this Winnipeg-Manitoba rivalry is going to continue. It's going to be a tough fight the next 3 games.
96-77 the final in favor of the Westmen. We'll be back to wrap it up after this.
The very best of Willie Nelson.
On the road again, all of me. Why not take all of me? My heroes have always been cowboys.
For the first time on television, you can get 24 of Willie Nelson's original classic hits on 2 records or 2 cassette tapes.
Riding on the city of New Orleans, blue eyes crying in the rain. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Just an old.
This exciting record treasury is not available in any store.
Keeps Georgia on my mind. If you've got the money, honey, I've got the time. Nothing but blue skies from now on.
Everything's beautiful in its own way.
You are always on my mind.
24 original classic songs from the one and only Willie Nelson can be yours today. Order now.
COD and credit card customers call 943-2188. That's 943-2188. To save COD charges, use your credit card or send $14.98 for album or cassette plus $3 shipping and handling to Willie Nelson, 200-155 Carlton Street, Winnipeg, Manitoba, R3C 0H8. COD and credit card, call 943-2188.
The Manitoba Curling Association invites you to watch all the exciting action at the Winnipeg Arena, February 12th through the 15th, when the MCA presents the 1987 Labatt Tankard Championship. 32 of the province's top rinks compete for a berth to the Brier. CKND Sports will also provide daily game coverage Thursday through Sunday, February 12th through the 15th. For your best seat at the Labatt Tankard Championship, reserve your tickets now through your curling club or the Manitoba Curling Association office.
96-77 the final score in favor of the Winnipeg Westmen over the Manitoba Bisons. The 8th-ranked Westmen sure to move up in the rankings after this victory, Scott, and I'm sure the Bisons will just drop out of the top 10 going into this game ranked number 5.
What happened in the second half was exactly what Rick Suffield expected. He said we would either win one close or would be blown out. It was obvious they were blown out in the second half. A terrific effort by the Westmen all around. Winnipeg coach Bill Wedlake figured that his team was ready to play and the Bisons weren't. And I think quite simply that was it.
You know, we talked before the game about the three-point line. Certainly we saw those shots, but it didn't really come into play or was a factor in the game as it was in the Westman Classic.
As we saw here tonight, 48-34 at the half. This game was over early. Terry Garrow perhaps could have brought them back into it. He didn't elect to take those shots, and the Westmen owned this ballgame.
All right, our next CKND game of the week next Saturday, the 24th. It is International Midget Hockey as Team Western takes on the best from the Soviet Union. Team Western made up of players from Manitoba and Saskatchewan. 96-77 the final score in favor of Winnipeg over Manitoba. For Scott Taylor, this is Joe Pascucci thanking you for watching CKND Game of the Week. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.